All right, so if you're watching these videos, perhaps you're looking for a challenge problem and you have the time to do the challenge problem. So let me go ahead and introduce you to a few challenges. So the first type of challenge that you would probably see with your multi-step equations involves distributive property. So looking at this problem, go ahead and pause the video, try to solve for x, and then unpause it if you get stuck. All right. I hope that you were able to at least try it out by yourself. If not, I'm going to go ahead and continue on with the strategy that you should probably take. And this is the most common one. There's a lot of ways to solve this actually. But anyways, one of the first common one is kind of remembering that this is using the distributive property of the common term. And that -3 just tells you that you have -3 multiples of 2. Negative multiples of 2. 3 multiples of those, but they're negatives. It also tells you that -3 that you have 3 negative multiples of x. So 3 of these, but they're negatives. It also tells you something about your plus sign, but typically we just leave it as a plus. So there are 3 multiples. You can have negatives of plus signs. Anyways, when you multiply these out, you get -6 plus a -3x is now equal to 27. At this point, you can use your inverses to separate numbers away from x. So if you want to, you can pause the video and try it out. But looking at x, we see that it's in a relationship with two numbers. One is -6 and the other one's -3, which is also considered a coefficient. Anyways, these numbers or coefficient is in the relationship through various operations. And that's how it's holding on to x. As you can see, -6 is being added, but obviously it's also behaving as a subtract 6 away from -3x. -3 is holding on to x through multiplication, so we have to undo these operations. The first one is always the easiest one to take away, which is either addition or subtraction. So we're going to do the inverse of subtraction. We're going to add the 6. We're going to add it to both sides. This no longer exists on this side. It goes away, and you're left over with -3x, and that's now 33. As mentioned, we're trying to move numbers over to one side and keeping the x variable alone. So now we're going to try to get rid of -3 by doing the inverse, which is dividing by a -3. We're going to go ahead and divide by a -3. And remember, I'm using the fraction form to use division because this is what you will be comfortable with in high school. You're now left over with x is equal to 33 divided by -3, and that's actually -11. All right, this is one of your challenges. I can definitely give you another one, which I will. And this one will involve combining like terms or simplifying common terms. So if you want to try to solve this one out by yourself, go ahead and pause the video and then pause it when you need help. But anyways, looking at this problem, we can see that we have things in common. We have things that look like, for example, that x and also that -6x. So I'm going to color them in red, both of them. I also notice I have numbers, pure numbers. On this side, I have the 80 and then -35. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of observe what's going on. It says that over here I had 8x, so I had 8 of these. And they took away 6 of them. So I'm going to use the opposite color of that red kind of color. And 6 of them went away. So that means you're left over with 2x. So right here, you're left with 2x plus, we don't know what yet we're going to add, but we're going to plus something. 80 minus 35. If you plug that in your calculator or do it by hand, you'll get 45. And now this is still equal to 135. So at this point, you would just go about and do your inverses to get x by itself, to get rid of the coefficient and number term. So remember, addition and subtraction are the first operations that will break away easiest. And as we notice, we have an operation of +4. So the inverse is subtract 45 away. I didn't mean 4, I meant 45. Apologize. So we're going to subtract 45 from both sides. This becomes a 0. That goes away. You're left over with 2x is equal to 135 minus 45. And if you do that, this goes to 0. Carry the 3. That's 90. So 2x is equal to 90. And you're trying to rip away 2 to go with the number 90 because it does not belong with the x. So 2 is being multiplied. So we're going to end up doing the inverse, which is divided by 2. So we're going to divide by 2. And that eventually gives you x by itself, which is just 45, which is half of 90. That's how you solve this type of problem. Anyways, this was your challenge problem, and I'll see you guys soon.